The next day of this double tank tournament has arrived, and well, we've already gotten a chance to see how cars manage this course. Hey everybody, I'm Brendan, and I'm ready to see some action. I saw in the comments about 5.1, I think it was 011 or something. Someone typed out all the decimals was the fastest time we had. And we're going to see if it can be broken. And we're going to see if these 1v1s end in any disaster. I don't think we've seen a couple cars maybe hit that tank right there. There goes the hot rod for one. That was fast. That could have been good. That might have broken some numbers. No, 5.3, so not as fast as I thought. I mean, I was saying crazy things, if you remember back early on in day one. I was like, we're going to hit sub 4, which really seems nonsensical. Below 4 seconds seems way too fast. Well, there is a car called the Way Too Fast somewhere. Oh, Rogue Hog, by the way. Rogue Hog, not Hot Rod. Got them all mixed up in my head. But, I was even saying 4.5 sub would be possible, but I'm just not sure. Rogue Hog, big jump, and he manages to stay ahead. He's going to take this one. Was that a faster time? Probably not. It's 5.4. But I think that we can get the time to 4.4. Sub 4.5. Sub 4.5. I believe that's possible. We just have to... The car's got to get a good run. There has to be clearance and a fast landing from the first the first tank. SCION, XB, and the Owl Eruption. I believe that's the Air Eruption. I'm almost sure of it. We've seen that car many times before. So I got to point him out even in more grandeur because of that typo. Air Eruption, big jump, lands cleanly, looks fast. This could be close to the record. Let's see, turning around. 5.4, so I misjudged time. Though technically 0.3 seconds is not far from the record. I mean, relatively, compared to the times we usually see, it is kind of far, but I mean, in the grand scheme of things, 0.3 seconds is a very short amount of time. Like, even the time it took me to set time right there, and already 0.3 seconds went by. That's not a lot of time at all. Look, 0.3 seconds is going by so many times over the course of this race. Air Eruption, big jump here, flattens out, and this could be a little bit lower. Air Eruption's going to move on. 5.3, and it's a 3.9. Air Eruption, I think that was the killer right there for the couple seconds of time. That front wheel land both times, actually, on the right wheel, too. Tends to, I guess, weight himself that way. Maybe that's where he's a little heavier. And that, I mean, it's not a run killer, but it does kill a tenth of a second here and there. That's going to add up. And it's going to dock that time just a little bit. Second group, Formula 1 Batmobile Stalker and the Radical-RACER. Remember, we have 8 teams, and 1 car from each team comes out each of these 8 days. So you'll see that. Batmobile on the far side there, starting strong, big jump, flattens out, and they're all amuck in the line here. Batmobile, ooh, cutting across really well, stays ahead, loses it, and he knocks the other competitor forward, who does a weird kind of nose-centered turn. You saw that 5.6, but maybe you see this in the replay more on the next jump. See, he does this turn that's centered on the nose, with the spoiler being the outer radius, and whips it over top the Batmobile. What a turn. Formula 1. And he'll take to the track this time, and they're about even. Batmobile looking to break through with a faster time, loses out. Formula 1, Batmobile finds the gap and flips the Formula 1 off and finishes in what I think is about a 5.5. Formula 1 is not completely flipped off. Looked like he left the screen. Oh, and that is 0.12 slow, 5.7, so not good enough to move on. Formula 1 will win. Let's see if we can see this flip here. Boom! Oh, that was actually the ledge of the track. I thought the Batmobile had a hand in it. The Formula 1 straightens himself out, and he's a winner anyway. Wow. Almost fell into the drink, which is actually goo. And this one, Stalker and the Radical-RACER. Heat 1 and 2. To come next, Stalker, near side, Radical-RACER, the far side, had a lead for a second. Stalker with the jump, loses it, now turns, not a great hairpin. Radical-RACER radically moving towards the finish, first place. I don't know how good that time was, but 5.5 is acceptable. Maybe we won't see a sub 5 even. I know we'll see a sub. We're gonna see a sub 5, right? We have to. Here's some goo. See, cars don't get affected as much as the goo. It's kind of a bouncy surface, which is nice. And I think it's a good replacement for the water. You don't want those axles rusting up and getting all wet and water clogged and whatever. And the goo is kind of fun, you know. It's a little bit of a silly surface. All right, 5.58 for the Radical Racer. And we're going to roll him out again. Far side the Stalker, near side the Radical Racer. Ooh, loses out. Stalker blasting through. Second jump here and keeps the lead, loses the lead. Radical Racer turns around, leaves the track with 2 wheels, and wins that one with a 5.37. 5.37. Man, Stalker got right under the bottom of the Radical Racer there. He got the hood under there, but that was no use. He just pushed him forward, and we're advancing the Formula 1 and the Radical Racer. That third group coming up here. We got the Rogue Hog, Air Eruption, Formula 1, and the Radical Racer. These are the finalists. Only one will move on, though. Rogue Hog, Air Eruption, near side the Rogue Hog, Air Eruption on the far side. I think the fastest vehicle of the night, but the Rogue Hog breaks free. Ooh, turns really fast. Big jump, accelerating. Camera can't even keep up. That could be a 5.1. Let's see. And we see 5.2. Oh, so close. I think it was some of the landings. I think right here. See that tough landing where he bounced and then had to work with the air eruption for a second? And not a great landing there either. You got to get the front wheels down first, but only slightly before the back ones. That's going to take off a couple tenths and keep him from that sub 5. We've not seen a sub 5 yet, and we're waiting on it. Rogue Hog on the far side. Big lead so far. Getting clearance, runs into the air eruption. He's going to lose some speed and hit the wall again. Big jump, front wheels early. This can't be a 5. Probably more like a 5.3, but he will move on. 5.4, actually. 5.48. And actually, looks like the times are averaging more towards that 5.4, 5.5 section. That's more where we're seeing. I think the first couple of races, the day one, caught me off guard, and I thought that we were going to be sticking at an average about 5 seconds, 5.1, and I was a little bit mistaken. Remember that 5.1 was set very early on in day one. Formula 1 and the Radical Racer. Radical Racer on the far side with an early lead. Formula 1 almost breaks back in, but loses out through the next straight out for the jump. Radical Racer, the second jump. Ooh, landed cleanly, even though he looked offline. That could be fast. Turn around and see the time. 5.37. So we have some time to make up here, and I think it's balance. I really do think it's balance, especially these longer vehicles that have the spoilers. So they're very complex aerodynamically on the top, and I think that's making it hard for them to really work out faster times. It doesn't mean they can't win the races, even against faster vehicles, because of all the collisions that happen in the jumping, but it's hard for them to set the fastest time. See, Formula 1 was fishtailing there for a second, fishtails a little bit again, and how do we cross? That can't be more than a 5.4, and that's exactly what it is, 5.4, almost flat. But you see that fishtailing. Look at the landing here. See that fishtail? That's just losing time right there. That's at least half a tenth. So you got to factor that in. Formula 1 will not advance, though. Radical Racer kept it a little bit faster in the first one. Here we go to the final. And we'll take a look at our Radical Racer and our Rogue Hog. This could be a good one. Radical Racer, definitely slower than the Rogue Hog, so we'll need to come up with some intelligent moves to keep himself in the game. This is not just a speed-based event, so he could do it. Big jump here, Radical Racer finds a way around and pushes himself in front, and that was very smart. 5.4, not a fast time, but against the fastest car of the day, this was smart. Accelerated into the second jump, and again, hit him on the hood. Took away some of his speed on the end of the jump. 5.45. Will he be able to hold on with such a number? Rogue Hog, near side, big jump, bounces a little bit unstably, runs out, blocks the Radical Racer, jumps to the finish, finishes. Is it enough? I think it might be. That was a fast run. And it is, ooh, I forget the decimals. That's 5.45. That's 5.4557. Does that beat the Radical Racer? I don't remember the last two decimals. I didn't think it was going to come to that, honestly. And it does by a little bit. By 0.0013. The Rocog is advancing. Man, what a comeback. Subscribe to this one. Ring the bell. And we'll see you next time on Races and Fun.